So, okay, can you tell me your current roles and responsibility in your current project?
Okay. Actually, I played a role of Java developer, especially backend developer,
Mm-hmm.
and I was responsible to write some RESTful web services.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, we'll start with core Java. So, can you explain like what is aggregation, what is composition?
Uh, okay. In composition, actually, there is one object holds another object,
Mm-hmm.
and where one object will be reside either the outer object has been uh, denied, means it has been, if in case it is died outer object, then existence of inner object will be remains. So while in aggregation,
Mm-hmm.
it will not. Both are has a relationship, means object based relationship, where
Mm-hmm.
one object holds another object.
Okay. So, can you little bit explain about OOPS principle and how we can use in our code?
Basically, OOPS principles are like abstraction, encapsulation,
Mm-hmm.
inheritance, and polymorphism. These are the basic principles of OOPS, including class, object, and all.
Mm-hmm.
So, sorry,
And how we,
where
yeah, how we
whenever we are
implement in
making,
our code?
I'm sorry,
Yeah, yeah, okay, you can continue.
yeah. So, since Java is an object-oriented programming language, so everything is here is a object, and to get a object, we need to make a class from, because only the class is the thing here which can give us an object. So, to make a class means to gather all the related attributes and their related functionalities, means methods, into a single unit, which we known as class. So it is this process is known as an encapsulation. Since class contains um, attributes and their behaviors also. So here we can control the attributes with the help of access specifiers, public, private, protected, or in Java default also.
Mhm.
So in this process, we uh, if we are trying to expose the methods only, but we want to protect our data, so it is an abstraction example.
Mhm.
So after that, inheritance, where one object, one class is can um can be a can inherit the properties of another class,
Mhm.
so which we known as inheritance, where another class may means the inherited class is known as a child class or derived class or a subclass, but a base class we can known as a uh, base class or a parent class. So uh, where the derived class re- redefine the parents method, or we which we also known as a um, method overriding.
Mhm.
So here parent class redefine the parents, where child class inherit overrides the parents method, redefine it. And in case uh, of this overriding is also known as a polymorphism, because polymorphism is one thing may be available in multiple forms, because at runtime we will decide which method will be invoked, because of on the basis of object, the means whichever object is there, only that method will be invoked. In case it is the object belongs to the parent class, then parents method will be invoked. In case child class, if object is belongs to child class, then child method will be invoked. And this is one way of achieving polymorphism in Java by method overriding. Here, one more thing is there, like uh, to provide the more readability of the methods, we can provide the same name to the methods, but we may have different parameters in that. Means their argument list should be different. Either their number of arguments may be different. There are the order of the arguments may be different, or the type of arguments may be different. So it is known as method overloading, with which we do not require any inheritance here, because it is in the same class has been performed. So it is also known as static polymorphism, or compile time polymorphism, you can say.
Okay. Do you aware about what class loader will do?
Class loaders are like a bootstrap loader. Whenever JVM starts, then it load all the required classes or libraries into the memory.
So, can you explain like which memory, what type of data it is stored?
I'm sorry, I could not get you.
No, I'm
I
asking
could
like
not understand you.
which type of data it is storing in which type of memory. Suppose object data is there, static data is there, the instructions.
Yes,
Yeah.
in stack memory, there is a, because we divide our memory in like a stack memory and dynamic, means heap memory. Both the memories are of different size. Both memory size is different. There is a code section and a data section also, but where we have only the we have static memory for we have stack
Okay.
we
Fine.
have static memory and dynamic memory, that is a stack and heap. So stack contains only the static data, and all the references belongs to the method. But dynamic memory we whenever we are using the new operator, an object has been created at runtime. So that memory will be allocated at dynamic area, means heap memory.
Yeah. So, okay, how HashMap is generating the key?
Actually,
How hash
sorry,
table is working?
hash map. I'm sorry.
No, how hash table is working?
Yes, actually, hash map and hash table uh, both are the implementation class or concrete class of map interface. So, which stores values in the form of key value pair, where key must be unique and value may be duplicates for rest of the keys. And here, since key must be to maintain the uniqueness of the hash map, there is a hash code and a equals method is to be performed, and where both hash map and hash table, both underlying data structure is used as a hash table. Here hashify algorithm will works. Hash table is nothing but just like uh, here we can consider as an array of buckets, where every bucket of where every element of that bucket uh, is a kind of a linked list node, which contains which is we can virtually divide into three parts, like hash code, the actual data in that element, and after that pointer to the next node of same type. So this is the virtual classification, we can say. And once a new element tries to be once we are trying to insert a new element into the hash uh, in, uh, into a hash map. So first its hash code will be calculated. If hash code is already available into the hash table, then we perform means then equals method will be performed. In case that hash code matches with that with the equals method, then the same key will not be inserted, and its respective value will be overridden. But if a hash code is not available, then because we are inserting first time, so first time there is no hash code, so it is inserted first time. In case of actually hashing collision, it is known as once at the same place we have multiple hash codes because two or more objects in Java may have the same hash code.
Mhm.
In that case,
Okay.
in the same manner, a hash table will be grown. There is one more factor. It is known as load factor. One because on the basis of that, our hash table here hash table will be grown. So hash factor is sorry, load factor is 0.75 by default, and it the things will be calculated on the basis. Hash factor is load factor is nothing but just like how much percentage of the hash table has been filled up. So by default size of hash table is 12. Sorry, 16. So 0.75 multiplied by 16, it is 12. Once the 12 elements has to be filled into the hash table, hash map, then our hash map will be grown by 10, size of 10. Yeah. It is default.
Okay.
Sorry.
Java 8 features you have used.
Yes. Java 8 has features like a Lambda expression, stream API, function interface, optional class is there.
Can you little bit
Date and
explain
time
like which
engine.
scenario we can use this one and why it is?
Okay. Actually, Lambda expressions are it is used in functional programming. When say we have functional interface because in the Java there are many scenarios like in microservices. Microservices are very small services which have only the means one service has only one functionality. So in this kind of scenarios has been happened in Java. So we have only one because here our interface has only one abstract method. So to maintain there are a lot of file will be created if we implement all these interfaces by class. So to maintain uh, uh, to reduce this headache of maintaining files, Java files, so we can implement the interface into the same wherever it is required, which we known as abstract sorry anonymous classes. So with the help of that, we can achieve it. Here, our function interface has only one abstract method with it. There may be some default methods. There may be some static methods also, but abstract method is only one. So here we annotated our interface with the @function interface, which contains only one abstract method, and like a anonymous inner classes, we override its method by using arrow operator. Arrow operator means lambda here,
Okay.
and
What is the method
other
of
than it,
supplier and consumer?
supplier and consumers are the predicates actually, which is sorry supplier these are also functional interface inbuilt function interface which is we have function predicates and functions also along with it. Consumer is a terminated we
What is
can
the
say
method of
where
supplier?
method of supplier.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
currently I don't know.
Okay. Fine. Uh, what is meant by functional programming? You told functional interface, so functional
Yes, yes.
programming. So what is meant by functional programming?
uh, in norm actually function programming has more of functions here. For every uh, operation we have functions here.
Okay. So in a Spring Boot, like what are the annotations you have used? Can you explain AOP principle and how we can configure and how it is working?
I'm sorry, I have no exposure on your side.
AOP.
um,
Okay. Then what are the things you have worked in a Spring Boot?
There is, we have Spring Boot have various dependencies, but like every Java program, there is a main method. So with main method, there is a class which is known as a start, where our Spring Boot program's execution has been started. So it is annotated with @Spring Boot application, which is a, this annotation is a combination of three annotations like auto configuration, configuration, and component scan. So here the task of the responsibility of component scan is to look all the required dependencies or required beans into the local repository. Here .m2 folder in local site. So which scans all this and auto configuration configure the beans.
And what is qualifier?
Qualifier annotation is the qualifier and primary. So it is qualifier means there may be a chance of ambiguity because one bean may have one class may have multiple beans bean definitions. So qualifier the particular number of beans are maybe qualifier.
How we can
But
configure
out of which only one is primary.
How we can configure spring security?
Actually, there is a dependency is Spring Security. In we can add into our form.xml file. At the time of project creation, we can include it. So
only adding dependency it will work.
No. We after that we can, once a dependency we have, then we can use its methods, its classes, means its objects and their methods. So in Spring Security, we
can you explain what are the things need to configure?
I'm sorry, currently no more idea.
I'm not a problem. Okay. So you work on the SOAP web service also, right?
No, long back I have worked only the small knowledge. Currently, I don't know more. Means Visual is there and
rest okay. What is the difference between path variable and request param?
Path variable is a variable and request param. Both are used in the method argument annotation. And path param, whichever we supply in method URL, these parameters are we check with the path param. And sorry, request param, right? So request param, am I audible right now?
Yeah, audible.
Yes. So with request param, it is also same. No, it is
fine. So have you worked on the files?
Sorry,
have you worked on the files like PDF?
File side, like IO?
Not the IO. Suppose I'm sending some files from the UI. How you will receive in your controller? What is the syntax for in the controller?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay. So do you aware about multi-part file?
Multi-part data means like a metadata, right? No, I'm not worked.
Okay, fine.
I have not worked.
No problem. So how you are like which technology you are using for database connections in your project?
We use Hibernate actually.
So it is a Spring with Hibernate, a Spring MVC, or a Spring Boot with Hibernate.
Actually, Spring JPA, Spring Data is there, but I have also worked on a Hibernate side, so I have exposure on Hibernate.
Okay. So have you worked on the microservices as well?
No, I'm sorry, I have not worked on it.
Okay. Uh, do you know the types of garbage collectors?
Actually, garbage collection is the process done by JVM automatically, and there are two methods like finalize and system.gc. So once we call some object.finalize, so this object will be eligible for garbage collection whenever compiler thinks, whenever JVM requires, it will done. And system.gc for all the available, means all the eligible objects will be garbage collected at the time.
Okay.
Internally it calls object.finalize for every object.
Okay.
Actually, finalize
You
method
worked on the
grounds the
multi-threading?
object class. Multi-threading means we have thread class. There are shared resources are available. So on that particular, we can make our class thread by two ways, like by extending the thread class and by implementing the runnable interface. So in both the cases, we need to override the run method, and once we try to start the thread, we can use the thread.start. So thread will start, and because basically a thread has a life cycle like ready, runnable, and in case of any IO required, it is waiting, and if everything is completed, then dead or terminate.
What is
So
self-cloning and deep cloning?
I'm sorry,
What
cloning.
is shallow cloning? What is deep cloning?
Okay, shallow and deep cloning. Cloning means copying. We have a clonable interface, and we can write. We have a clone method also. So uh, means it is a copy. For example, we have shallow copy means only the references will be copied, but actual data means, suppose there is a person object which has the address, but address is also an object. So in that case, entire address will be copied in case of in case of deep cloning. But in case of shallow cloning, only the uh, address reference will be copied. The actual data will not be. Hello.
Yeah, yeah. Mm. What is a string constant pool?
String constant pools are, it is a literal pool also, because here all the string literals are residing. It is a memory area in string constant pool. It is in static memory, in stack memory, and once this any string has been defined, you can say. So
Mm.
a new string is created, then here it resides.
Okay.
In case of the same string will be
You
created
worked on
after
the
that.
Angular as well, right?
I'm sorry.
You worked on the Angular as well, right? And
Uh, yes, but not much more time.
yeah.
In most recent project I
So what are the things you have worked? Uh,
with Angular, actually we have um, actually Angular and Python was also part of our project. So we need to write some node command and npm commands. So these things I have seen,
okay.
but no more idea right now.
Okay, fine. What are the design pattern you have used in Java?
Actually, there are factory pattern, singleton pattern, and,
Mhm.
here builder pattern is also with Java. A proxy pattern, JDBC
What
has.
are the design pattern you have
Actually,
used and how you have
basically,
created?
there are in design patterns. Maybe we can have three types of
Mhm.
creational, structural, and behavioral. These three kinds of design patterns are there, which is where we have factory pattern, proxy pattern, builder pattern, decorator pattern, singleton, and also the dependency injection is also a design pattern. Uh, mm,
Okay. So how you have created the factory design pattern?
in factory design pattern, actually, one class we have our constructor is private, and we provide a one get instance method which will create object for us and give it to other classes. Other classes do not need to call new operator. They just say dot get instance, then they will get the instance.
Okay. Fine, Ankush. I am done with my interview. I will share my feedback
Uh,
to chatting. They will get back to you. Anything you want to know, you want to ask?
no, Mr. Prabhat, thank you
Okay.
very much for your valuable time in this process.
Thank you.
Please share the feedback.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Have a nice day.